My group is here today to talk to you guys about horizontal communication. So there are four main types of communication. The first is upward communication. This is just how it sounds. It occurs from employees to then the person above them, to the manager, to the CEO. The second type of communication is vertical, or it's also known as downward communication, and this occurs in the opposite way, from the CEO to the managers, and then down to the department heads, and then just to the employees below them. The third is horizontal communication, which we'll be focusing on today, and this type of communication occurs from peer-to-peer or coworkers who are on the same hierarchical level within a business. The fourth type of communication is external communication. This occurs from within a business, and then it goes outside, either to the general public or to maybe another corporation or organization. There are ways to be an effective communicator. I will tell you guys about the four basic principles. The first is being easily understood. It's important that you use simple terms and avoid jargon that people won't understand. The second is attentiveness. It's important that you're fully engaged and listening to the person who is communicating to the best of your ability. The third is broad-mindedness. It's important that you have an open mind and are willing to listen to the good ideas and thoughts of other people. And the fourth is retention. It's important that you remember what was said and you make an effort to remember. This will help you be more productive in the future and avoid misinterpretation. The ways to implement this effective communication is first in stand-up meetings. This occurs at the beginning of a day and is usually conducted by managers, and they'll give their employees goals and tasks for the day to prevent them from being overwhelmed and make sure that everyone knows exactly what they're doing each day. The second is interdepartmental surveys. This helps employees communicate to people above them, which would be upward communication, how they're doing, any thoughts on improvement, keeps them connected. The third is message boards. These are more informal, but gives employees an opportunity to share their thoughts and opinions throughout the day, helps them feel heard and valued within a company.
Forms of horizontal communication. Oral communication. Good, allows for direct contact. Bad, info may be forgotten. Forms. Face-to-face, over the phone, video conference, live speeches, etc. Written communication. Good, because it's documented. Bad, tone may be misinterpreted. No guarantee the intended recipient will receive the message. Sometimes they can even be forgotten. Forms. Emails, letters, memos, mails, etc. Cons to poor horizontal communication. Can lead to employee rivalries when fellow employees seek their own advantage and decide to hide valuable information in order to be recognized for their own good work. Can cause miscommunication between management. It can also be a bad environment when it's very difficult for one manager of sales to talk to a manager of the production team. Top managers can be threatened due to a lack of communication. An excess of horizontal communication can also cause conflict with management.
Okay, first, skills necessary to overcome cons. Great listening comes with intensive and active listening. And intensive listening, all that is just making sure that you show your partner that you're listening to them and that you're engaged in the conversation. And then active listening is just whatever question they've asked you or they're talking about, make sure you include it in your answer when you're talking to them. And then great communication, make sure you're equipped, diligent, perceive nonverbal cues, gain trust, ability to connect, and proficiency. And being equipped is just being a great communicator and just knowing how far communication goes with relations in business. And being diligent, and that just comes with kind of being smart, knowing what you're going to say and how you're reading them. And to perceive nonverbal cues is huge. We do it in our daily lives now, especially with MassCom. We got to see nonverbals and to hear what people are saying, and that's big with horizontal communication as you're talking with people in your same department and just who you're working with. You got to be able to read their nonverbal cues, see how they're thinking, and kind of react that way. And then gaining trust. And in horizontal communication, gaining trust is huge because another department has to trust what information you guys are giving them, and you got to trust what information you're receiving from them, and to apply that to your work. And ability to connect, and that's just communication. Communication will go a long way with relationships, which is connecting with others and building that trust. And yeah, the ability to connect is a big thing. And proficiency, just being at a high level when you're working with your employees and other departments, just being proficient with your work, making sure you're giving your best at all times. Applicability to the realm of business. I've split up into 4 topics: communication, teamwork, accountability, and expertise. And first we have communication, because I feel like with any business, it's important to have communication, and horizontal communication is a big part of sharing information, communicating with other departments at your same level to come up with an answer and a successful piece of work. And like I said, teamwork. Your employees plus other departments, especially with horizontal communication. As you know, you work with other departments, and it just kind of helps the flow of things to know that you're going to be working with other teams and just have that communication part there. And accountability, being accountable for your personal work, your department's work, and as you share work, they got to be accountable. You got to be accountable, make sure you get your part done, and it's good work. And then the expertise part is you're in a business, it's a day-to-day job, you're a professional at what you do. So just come in just with your approach of being an expert and handling it that way.
As discussed with my fellow teammates regarding horizontal communication and its great effects, it's helpful to look at the history of where this kind of came from. In one area of history, it comes from the medieval era. And when you think of the medieval era, what comes to mind is usually the idea of an apprentice under a master, and that focus of training up someone in shoemaking and woodwork. So that individual focus, but also for society to thrive, you also have to focus on the home and community of a social atmosphere. We can see that through their dancing, their cooking, their interacting on a daily basis. And so that's what pushes both the individual working and the community as a whole pushing each other. And the effects, we can see it throughout history. And it's phenomenal to see how horizontal communication, the pros and cons of it, are some success. Now, in conclusion of everything we discussed about horizontal communication, it's not only applicable to business world and the settings, but also for everyday life. Interacting with people that are your peers on a daily basis, with your home. This is so critical for any kind of communication, and so well for promoting growth, functionality of any society. And this leads to success as a whole.